We think it's safe to say that Rick and Morty have blown us away this season. This season, the show is sticking to its classical roots with what we've seen so far in the 4 episodes released. So sit back and relax as we recap and review episode 4 of Rick and Morty. But we should warn you, this video is going to be packed with spoilers, so tread carefully at your own risk. First off, laying the premise down. The episode starts off in a fun, standalone Rick and Morty adventure, a classic case of be careful what you wish for. We're introduced to a device that lets your body do useful things while your conscious self sleeps. Sounds like a dream come true. But the Smith-Sanchez clan turns Rick's device, the alien Somnambulator, into a nightmare, just like the Meeseeks did in the Season 1 classic, Meeseeks and Destroy. The episode makes it clear right away that it's gonna be a nasty one, by starting with a title card that looks and sounds like it was recorded on a VHS camera, and then pops up a fictional quote from T.S. Eliot that reads, "When you're alone in the middle of the bed and you wake like someone hit you on the head, you've had a dream of a nightmare and you've got the hoo-ha's." Basically, this episode explored the possibility of our dream selves, our subconsciousness taking over our daily lives. That's pretty scary if you ask us. Next up, the start of the episode. Our first scene starts with a shot of the wholesome couple together in bed, and the first thing that goes bump in the night is Jerry snoring, which makes Beth, who's wide awake, get up and go for a walk. She tries to sleep on the couch, but is quickly woken up by a great jump scare, a synth score that sounds like John Carpenter made it, and the sight of a crazy Rick doing sit-ups on the living room floor. Beth tries asking her father what the is wrong with him, but little did she know that it was Rick Sanchez in a deep sleep. Over breakfast, Beth tells Rick that his night person scared her, only to find out that his night person is helping him live his best life thanks to his new device. With his new device, the Somnambulator, Rick can tell his subconscious self to practically do anything he wants to get done while he dozes off peacefully. And in this case, he has told his sleeping self to crunch like crazy until he gets the washboard abs he wants. Classic Rick. So it's only natural that the rest of the family wants to have a night person too, but Rick doesn't want to share his alien technology with the rest of the family. But of course, being the softy Rick is, he eventually gives in, and it doesn't take long for Summer to learn Spanish, Beth to learn the trumpet, and Morty to copy his grandpa's rock-hard abs. As for Jerry, he just doesn't want to pass out when the machine takes a sample of his blood, followed by the night people doing their nightly duties. In the best tradition of a Twilight Zone story, everything starts out great. Summer is an honor student, Beth is a brass virtuoso, and Morty is bouncing bowling balls off his newly shaped stomach. In fact, nightlife has helped Rick and Morty's relationship so much that they now host a popular podcast about how great it is to have a toned midsection. Only Jerry doesn't take full advantage of the opportunities. Instead, he writes to his new pen pal, Night Jerry, about Tori Amos and pajamas. Yeah, we know it seems the letters might come in handy one day. We always knew that night person utopia couldn't last forever, so it's not surprising that the Smiths started to wish they hadn't used the Somnambulator. There's something deliciously creepy about how the Night family does simple housework with their eyes half open, bloodshot, and their steps like those of zombies. But the smartest part of the whole plot is that they're not just mindless robots. They're actually sentient beings who are being forced to work, and only if Rick hadn't been so rude about Night Jerry's message that they should wash their plates after dinner, they might have been able to get along. Sadly, it's soon clear that he's been messing with the wrong night people. Moving on, the nightlife comes into full power. Most people would have probably agreed to do the dishes in this case, but not Rick Sanchez. Instead, he declares war and goes to a faraway part of the galaxy to buy new dishes that are 100% unbreakable. It seems like he put a lot of effort into not giving the Night family what they want, says Jerry, who for once is the voice of reason in the family. From here, the episode moves into the darker territory of Apple TV Plus's brilliant workplace comedy, Severance, and especially Jordan Peele's chilling horror film, Us. Like Severance, Night People looks at what it means when two minds share the same body without meaning to. Meanwhile, Us showed us a group of angry doppelgangers who were ready to come out of the shadows. And similarly, in this episode, we meet a family of intelligent nighttime zombies who are ready to seize the day and take over the Smith family. We're sure that the Night People, all having raspy voices like the characters characters in Us is just a huge coincidence. Or is it? Even though Rick is the real leader in whatever reality the Smith family lives in during the day, Summer is in charge at night. In fact, the episode strongly suggests that Summer has always had this new dark personality, the kind that shoves food waste into people's mouths. This could be a plot point that we think will be brought up again in a later episode. Coming up next is our review of the episode. Even though Night Family has some scary parts, it might be the funniest show of the season so far. The episode goes all in on the sillier parts of its plot, like the slapstick car chases, Summer trying to stay awake in a suit powered by itchiness and soft drinks, and Morty telling the family to hide behind his steel abs to protect themselves. Many visual gags remind us of The Simpsons in its heyday in the 1990s. For example, Night Summer's fall is softened by a pile of empty boxes, and a burning police car flies into a gasoline factory, a dynamite museum, and a dry leaf storage facility. And when it comes to Jerry, this is the second episode in a row where the helpless patriarch does something on his own. His sweet pen pal relationship with the all-kind Night Jerry ends up being the only thing that saves the Smiths. But Rick doesn't learn anything from this though, as he turns down the Night foe's offer of a truce because it would mean letting them wash the dishes. He probably enjoys it when the Night family has a spectacularly hedonistic end credits sequence, complete with a great theme song from the 1980s that ends up bankrupting the family. There aren't many harsher wake-up calls than the one the Smiths get when they destroy the Somnambulator, and if rebuilding their lives turns out to be too hard, they always have the option to move to a new reality. In other related news, first, Rick and Morty finally face Cthulhu this winter. After years of talking about why H.P. Lovecraft's Cthulhu keeps showing up in the opening credits of Rick and Morty, the characters will finally face the classic monster in a new comic series. Oni Lion Forge Publishing Group has released Rick and Morty vs. Cthulhu, a 4-part limited series written by Jim Zub, drawn by Troy Little, colored by Leonardo Ito, and lettered by Crank. Rick and Morty vs. Cthulhu will take the characters from Adult Swim through what the publisher calls a Lovecraftian hellscape, as they fight cosmic sentient color and racist fish people. All aboard the hype train. Up next, Rick finally hits video game multiverses. Rick and Morty fans rejoice. Rick Sanchez can now be used as a fighter in Multiverses, a free-to-play platform brawler. Morty, who plays his sidekick on the show, was added to the game's roster last month. The confirmation came with a short video of Multiverse's official Twitter account that breaks down Rick's moves and class type. As for his moves, he can throw a fart bomb, call up Meeseeks to throw at his opponents, and the best one, according to us, the Bayes-Rick portal theory, where he can aim and teleport his opponents. Finally, Dan Harmon credits the fans for keeping Community on track. In a recent interview, Dan Harmon talked about his absence from Season 4 of Community and how the story was told. He revealed that he was flattered and confused by the choice of the people in charge of the show in his absence, and it felt like purely fan service in the end. He also talked about how at 2012's San Diego Comic-Con, showrunners Moses Port and David Guaraccio walked out in front of 3,000 people and thought they felt the same energy that hit him a long time ago. This is where he revealed the difference between his vision and theirs. They didn't do Season 4 out of kindness, they did it for the fans. Harmon's view that Community Season 4 was a labor of love made the gas leak year of the show look a little bit better. That's all for this video. What did you think of the episode in Season 6 so far? Let us know in the comments below. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel for more exciting content in the future. Thanks for watching. See you next time.